Hello and welcome to Quilt Addicts Anonymous. I'm Stephanie Sebbing and today we have some new goodies. We've had it before, but it's been a very long time. We now have cork that you can order individually as opposed to just in a kit. We've been bringing cork back as part of our bag kits over the last several months, and you guys have really liked it. And we've gotten a lot of questions from you guys on if you can get it individually. And we now have a nice rainbow of color available for you with some really cool textures. It is really great to sew with. It's very durable. So I'm going to give you a peek at what all the colors are. And then I'm going to show you some projects that I made years ago with cork so you can see how it holds up and lasts over time. Spoiler alert, fantastically. You're going to love it. All right, so we have lots and lots of goodies here. We're going to take a peek at these. I'm going to roll them out for you so you can see them in all their glory. First up, we have just plain black. You really cannot go wrong with this. Cork, by the way, I feel like we need to have a little bit of story time here. This is harvested from trees in Portugal. It does not harm the tree at all, so it is very environmentally friendly. And then the tree is tagged, so it's not harvested again until a certain period of time has passed, which makes it good for the tree and sustainable for the environment. So this is a really great alternative, especially if you're looking for something vegan instead of leather to make your bags with. And it really just holds up great over time. And of course, this nice black color is great. It's classic. Obviously, you can use it in a lot of things. Great for bags. But it is really, you can't go wrong with this black one. We sell them in essentially quarter-yard increments. The width of fabric on these is typically about 56 inches. So you're going to be getting 18 inches width-wise by about 27-ish inches going across the length, which is enough for most bag bottoms. You may need to get extra depending on if you want to do handles or more things with it, but make sure you are checking your fabric requirements on the bag you're looking for to see how many of these you need. All right, so let's take a peek at the other colors. All right, next up we have Onyx with silver waves. This one is super pretty. It is black with silver texture in it. And instead of having it where it almost looks like tree bark coming off, it is just this mottled pattern kind of going all over. So it's really gorgeous, really fun. I could see some really great bags with this or wallets. It's just it holds up really well over time, which you want when you're going to be having something they're going to be using daily and quite frankly abusing like you would a bag. Next up, we have navy with silver waves. This one is really pretty. It's the same pattern as far as the mottled look, but instead of having those silver waves, it's a navy back, and then there are these shiny blue accents. So this is really, really pretty. All right, we've got Eggplant here. It is a very deep purple. This is really pretty. This would look great with some Tula Pink for sure. It is that cork look, and it's just dyed to be a very deep purple. Looks absolutely fantastic. Now, if you're new to working with cork, you're going to want to use a jeans needle when you sew with it so that it can go through the thickness of it, but it's actually really easy to sew. Cuts like butter with your rotary cutter. You might want to use a 40-weight thread instead of 50, so that way it looks more professional when you're sewing with it, but otherwise you treat it just like you would treat normal fabric when you're sewing it together. You might want to also use clips instead of pins because it does kind of leave a mark if you do that. Plus it's really thick, so it's just easier to clip it like with the binding clips that you would use. We use Quilter's Perfect Clip here, and it just works out really beautifully. Next up, we have Sugar Plum. This is kind of a mix between a really deep purple and a really deep fuchsia. It's really pretty. It's got that cork look, and it would make a great accent. Whenever you have ones that are more plainer like this on the bottom, they make great coordinates because you just need to match the color to whatever fabric you're using. So great for bag bottoms, which are going to get a lot of abuse, handles, things like that. Next, we have Pink Sangria. This is like a very deep fuchsia. Very, very pretty. All right, this is the last of the pinks. This is fuchsia. It's also that cork texture. This is the brightest one and also the lightest one that we have. So it is really fun, very bright, and this is the one when I show you a sample that I used in my bag. All right, next up we have Mermaid Waves with silver. This is maybe one of my favorites from the new ones that we got in. It is a very nice medium teal color for your background with hints of black in there, and then the silver accents. I cannot wait to figure out how to use this in a future project. So, so pretty. So a little bit about cork. It is backed in this very soft woven material. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it adds some stability to it and makes it sew really, really well. And it's very soft and easy to work with. Next up, we have seafoam, and it is exactly as described, a nice seafoam green, very bright, very fun, very like trendy to have this color right now. So, and it's a cork texture, so it looks solid from a distance, but when you get up close, you see the lovely textural details from the tree. This one is shimmering gold, and let me tell you, it does shimmer. It definitely has that gold texture. It is very shiny when you look at it. It is really, really pretty. We've used this as bag bottoms in a kit that we have here at Quilt Addicts Anonymous. I believe it's sold out now, but it also would look great as an accent, maybe paired with another color. This one can be really fun. All right, for all my people who like the look of leather and animal skin, but don't want to harm animals, this is it. This one here is called Textured Golden Python, and it does have texture that you can legit feel on it. It feels like scales, and you can feel the texture as you put your hand over it. And it is so, so pretty and very neutral, so it can work with a lot of different things. So you can combine this with your favorite fabrics or just make an entire bag just out of the cork itself. This one's very pretty. It's called Striped Rose Gold. So you kind of have the natural color of the cork on here. So it looks very, just very raw, but you have that rose gold shimmer going throughout it, which just elevates it just a little bit and gives it that little bit of extra sparkle. It's so pretty. This one is called Sandstone, and again, you can feel texture on this when you are working with it. So this one, you could absolutely make something that looks very high end, because neutral is a very big thing in high end. We want things to be timeless and classic, and it just looks so pretty with it actually looking like, you know, the side of a cliff face or something in here. All right, so when you get your cork, we store it rolled up like this so that it doesn't hold any creases or anything in it. We are going to fold it when we ship it to you. So when you get it, you're going to make sure to take it out of the packaging and roll it back up like this, so that way it doesn't retain any of those creases before you go to sew with it. Now I'm going to show you a couple of projects that I've made with cork, so that way you can kind of see how it wears over time, and then also how it compares to bags that were made and loved, aka abused, made with quilting cotton. This is my go bag. It is a tourist tote. It is the first one of the So Many Creations patterns that I ever made. I made it at least 3 years ago. Now, granted, there was a good year and a half where this was not used on a regular basis because I really didn't leave my house that much because of the pandemic. But this bag gets used daily by me. I throw all kinds of stuff in it. This is any mom or grandma who helps with childcare and picking kids up needs one of these, because it's got my latest knitting project in it, so I can work on it while I'm waiting for things to be done with my daughter. It's got the pattern for that. It carries my wallet. I often throw my laptop in here if I'm going to try and work a little bit while my daughter's in ballet. Holds everything. Love this pattern. But I want to show you, it's at this point kind of floppy. You can see my knitting project in there, by the way. We use canvas for the top with cotton and steel, and then cork for the bottom. And after many, many years, there is zero, I know we're not talking about canvas here, but the straps are all in really good shape. There's no wear and tear on that. And there also is very minimal wear and tear on the cork. So the body of the cork looks just fine. The bottom of the bag looks just fine. It probably could use a clean. It does wipe clean really easy, by the way. The only wear and tear, which you would expect, is at the corners. The color has come off on all four of the corners there, and they are a little darker than the rest of it, just from, you know, dirt accumulating and things like that. But this bag has been straight up abused probably for a year and a half on a daily basis, and it still looks fabulous, and the cork is in really, really great shape. Now we're going to compare that to a bag that I used and that I made when I was a beginner quilter, where I used all quilting cotton. All right, so this is one of the first projects that I made and designed when I was a new quilter. And at the time, Vera Bradley was a big thing. I'm sure she still is. And so I made it, and the bag itself is doing okay. The handles are what wore out long before anything else. So you can see here that you can see the strapping. It has straight up like broken away and frayed. I didn't know as much about straps as I did then, so those kind of came apart. And it just is more worn in general the handles here have also come apart over time. And I didn't even use this bag for that long. It just couldn't handle it with the quilting cotton. So quilting cotton is great. It definitely makes bags more affordable, and we definitely have kits that use it. You know, we've got my Nocturne over here, but know that they just are not going to last as long because that's not what they're meant to do. So if you want to spend a little bit more money to get some canvas and to get some cork, then you are going to have much more long-lasting bags, and you're going to be able to use them season after season after season without these kind of things happening where it's just getting wore out and no good. We don't want that. All right, we're going to show you one more thing. This is what a brand new tourist tote looks like. So this is the same pattern as my Go bag. I'll pull it up for comparison. So this is my one that has been used and abused. It's pretty floppy at this point. This one has not been used. This has just been made, so it's still very stiff. It withholds its shape pretty well on its own because we've got some interfacing in here. We've got cork for the outside, or cork for the bottom, and canvas for the outside and the handles. It is still doing really well. You can see there's obviously nothing going on with the sides because it hasn't been used yet. It has just been used as a sample here. So it looks really good, but even once you do wear and tear with it, still looks fabulous and still works really well. I've really been impressed with how this has worn over time. So again, bag making, not an inexpensive hobby. So if you're gonna do it, you wanna make sure that you're making quality pieces that are gonna last, and that's why I absolutely love cork. And I think if you haven't sewn with it yet and you're a bag lady, you need to give it a try. So you can check out all the cork on our website, shop.quiltaddictsanonymous.com. Make sure when you get it, you take it out of the packaging and you roll it up and just secure it with a rubber band like we have. And then it will stay nice until you're ready to use it. You don't want to leave it folded up for too long, or you might start to get, you know, these creases and things that we're seeing here. Now, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to show you my latest knitting project. We normally don't do knitting on this channel. This is normally just a Stephanie thing so that I can relax because my hobby became my business with quilting. So now I have a hobby of knitting, and maybe someday we'll do some videos. Our video editor is an expert knitter and is actually teaching on a knitting cruise sometime soon. So she would be a great instructor for you all. All right, I'm about to separate for the sleeves here. This is, I believe it's Anchor's sweater by Petite Knit. She is a European knitwear designer, and she has a lot of great patterns. I've made several of her patterns, and they're very easy to follow. The English translation is very good, and they are true to size, so that's always good. I have made this version for my daughter when she was a newborn out of sock yarn. But this one is using the DK version, and she also has a child size version. And I bought way too much of this yarn from Thirsty Cat. It is so pretty and so lovely to work with. I know that hand dyes are expensive, but it takes me so long to do a project that I feel like it's worth it, and I like holding it in my hand. So shout out to Thirsty Cat there. She makes beautiful yarns, and I'm just in love with this color. Whenever I have it like on me and I'm knitting something, it goes with like everything that I have, and I of course can't remember the name of it. I'll look it up, and then you can go bug Thirsty Cat to get yarn and check that out. So if you want knitting tutorials, maybe leave a comment below. I know we got some requests for them. We're a little crazy in general for our like production schedule for videos. So maybe someday we have it all planned to do like a beginner knitting series like we've done with quilting, but we just need to like find time to make it happen. So enough tangents from me. Check out the cork. Get a go bag if you're a mama or a grandma and you're running around after kids. You need it. You can just have this at the ready anytime to work on your little hand piecing or your knitting or whatever it is. Throw your Kindle in there so you always have something, and make it out of some cork, and it's going to last you for years. All right, until next time, happy quilting.